Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of command blockifying awesome maps. Last time we transformed the glorious Ruby Palace by Wubervos, and today I chose Aqua Lucida by Astrium. The link to the original creators and the download page can be found in the description. I've been getting a lot of requests to publish my transformed map versions, but I don't really want to do that because it would be unfair for the people who just spent ages building the actual maps. I see them more as a set to showcase some random creations. So now let's get command blocking. I had a lot of people suggest that I build a drawbridge, which is a pretty awesome idea, and so I did. You will find two buttons on both sides of the chasm. One is to open and the other one to close the bridge. After pressing them, you have to wait for a couple of seconds while the bridge builds itself. I made sure that you can't mess with the buttons mid-animation, so only when the bridge is fully created you can close it again. This mechanic uses a simple scoreboard timer and various armor stands to leading or setting a block at the correct time and order. It certainly wasn't difficult to create, but took a lot of trial and error to get the animation how I wanted it to look. All in all, I'm quite satisfied with the result though. For the next feature I went with a combination between these two commands. Getting OP status effects every time you are near the flowers would have been too easy though, so I made a little minigame which you have to complete first. As soon as you walk into the large flower in the center, you will be given a bow and arrows. As suggested by Colino DK, the flowers around you will now emit bubbles that slowly float upwards. Their position and size are completely randomized, so this can be quite a challenge. After hitting 20 bubbles, some particles will appear, and everyone in a radius of 300 blocks will get absorption, regeneration, speed and jump boost. The effect lasts for about 5 minutes, so after that you'll have to come back and complete the bubble shooting game once again. If you couldn't tell yet, this map is absolutely massive, and getting around can be quite a pain. It would be super convenient to have some sort of transportation system. LRSF and Joyce thought so too, and suggested that I create a boat to solve this problem. I'm surprised how smooth and user-friendly I managed to do it, so allow me to show you. At random spots throughout the city you will find these awesome looking ships. Just walk up to them and right click to get inside. Now you can drive around in the water at an insane speed. After arriving at your destination, simply press shift to exit. I even made a system that prevents you from driving around anywhere but the water. If you try to go on land, you will automatically exit and the boat will reset to a position inside of the water. In first person mode, this is not optimal, but I mean, Minecraft does have its limits, so the result is still acceptable, I think. Using WASD to move around unfortunately offsets it from the player's view, because of the delay of the teleport command. But if you go forward at full speed, nothing obstructs your view at least. For this feature I'm gonna give you a little technical background in case you want to know how I did it. The boat consists of a horse and a giant which holds a block model in its hand. Whenever you get close to the giant, the horse is teleported to the player so he can right click anywhere to get inside, and not just in the middle. Now the giant is simply constantly teleported to the horse. Once a second, an armor stand is summoned at your current position and killed after a while again. This makes you leave kind of a trail of armor stands behind you. And as soon as you hit land, the boat is teleported back to the last armor stand that was summoned. Before we continue, I would like to take a second to thank RocketCrafter44 for supporting me on Patreon. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you. Now that we solved the horizontal movement problem, let's do something to help the player get around vertically. Throughout the city you will find a lot of these pillars. The paths on top look super chill, but how on earth do you even get up there? My idea was turning the pillars into instant elevators. So now you can walk up to them, press shift, and you'll instantly be teleported to the top. It works with every single pillar in the world, no matter how tall it is, and it works from all of the 4 sides. This is a beautiful example of how to use recursions in functions. To make this work instantly, I summon an armor stand inside of the pillar and then call a function called elevator. Inside of this function I teleport the armor stand upwards, and then test if the block at its position is air. If it's not, then I repeat the same process again. So this function will keep calling itself until the armor stand reaches the top. And finally I just teleport the player to the armor stand's new position. Very simple but super effective. The last suggestion for today's video comes from Bin Plays, who wanted me to make some streetlights. They may appear to be useless because they don't emit any light, But as soon as an entity nearby moves, they will turn on. A massive city like Aqua Lucida obviously needs to be energy conservative, so I thought it'd be a good idea to only make the lamps light up when really needed. In case you want to know how I managed to remove the lights from androids, well, it's pretty stupid. I simply adjusted the rotation and scale from the block model and placed it in a way that it covers the actual block. And that's all the features I added for today's episode. As always, I'm gonna show you a preview of the next map I will transform. So if you have any interesting ideas for what I could create, just leave a comment and I'll pick the best ideas for the next video. I hope you all enjoyed, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.